Here I am with Johnny Ma, the director of Old Stone, which is premiering here at TIFF 2016. Welcome, Johnny.
Thank you.
First time talking to you.
Yeah. No, it's nice to meet you and your team and camera person.
That's right. Who our fabulous camera person is the fantastic Anita Adams, who founded First Weekend Club. We multitask at a nonprofit organization. Anyways, let's talk more about you and your film, Old Stone. It is set in China, and can you just briefly give us the plot?
Yeah, it's about a small town sort of taxi driver who gets into an accident, and he decides to help the injured person. And because if he tried to do a good deed, he gets sort of deep into sort of bureaucratic insurance, sort of this world, and he just digs himself deeper and deeper until and he has to pay for this guy's hospital bills until it's way too much burden for him, and he has to find another way, and it becomes quite a violent way that he finds.
It was interesting reading some of the notes for this film because you were inspired by something you heard of that happened in China where somebody did hit a pedestrian, as it happens in your film, except they chose not to help but to run over the person because it was easier.
Yeah, it's definitely a topic in a lot of, and not just China, but India and a lot of countries that are having, even big cities like Europe with the refugee situations, where it's getting harder and harder to actually help someone to do a good deed. I think that the easier thing is always to not to do anything. So and in China, Asia, there had been a situation where a few years ago, an old lady fell down and somebody tried to help her, and then that old lady sued the guy, and he ended up winning a lot of money. So it was talked about in China in the sort of social media, and people stopped helping people. So actually now you walk down the street and you see an old person on the ground, and they just got hit by a bicycle, and no one dares to touch them. And the old person is just there and waiting. There, everybody's just waiting for the cops to come because no one wants to take responsibility. So it's definitely a situation. And so the news article that I read was about a truck driver who hit someone in the mountain in the middle of nowhere, and he looked around and there was no one there to see the accident. Right. And so he sort of looked at his situation, kind of looked at both sides of helping, and he decided that it was better off for him practically if the man was dead, and so he decided to run over the guy a second time.
It's a sad world we live in, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I when I was watching that, I was listening to the story. And I understood the guy because I felt that, if I was in that same situation with the same lot in life, and you look around and you could get away with this, it's as easy as that. And the scary thing is, like, I could imagine myself taking that same decision. So that I thought that was a scary thing. And I think all of us have these sort of situations where we really look down deep inside. We have this sort of this ugly side that we could maybe choose that same way. So I knew that this was something that was interesting to talk about, and I wanted to express that feeling that I had.
Yeah. We all like to think we have a moral compass and that we would do the right thing, but sometimes it's not always the best thing or the easiest thing for our lives to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And you have a very interesting approach to filmmaking. You immerse yourself in the environment in which you are going to be filming for several months before you shoot there.
Yeah.
That's really an interesting approach.
Yeah, I feel I was born in China and I grew up here in Canada, and I've been making films. I enjoy making films in different countries. I made a film in Brazil as well with the same method, and I always felt, as an outsider, even you have to work harder than someone who is from there, so to really understand the culture. Otherwise, there you have a lot of these films that are, they call them poverty porn movies,
Right.
which you could see that they're shooting it, to kind of show how poor the country. And I never want to be that kind of filmmaker. So I feel that I have to really live there long enough and to really understand what's actually happening. And then when you're telling that story, even if I can't achieve that it looks like somebody's actually from there who made the film, that it could get as we like to get as close as we can.
Yeah, it gives a more realistic and naturalistic approach to that film.
Yeah, definitely. And as an independent filmmaker, we don't have the money to throw at
Right.
the places, but what we can invest is our time, in our
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Johnny Ma, thank you so much, and good luck at TIFF.
Yeah, thank you so much, Priya, and thank you.